topic is what differentiates successful startups from failing startups and successful teams from failing teams. We have today Piotr Kovaček, I hope I pronounced it right, from Budetto. He has a successful exit, and from that he invested a big sum of money in a startup that didn't work well, and now he is investing or co-founding startups with other people. The biggest mistake a startup can make is choosing the wrong people. And then the question becomes, well, who is the wrong person, and how does one identify the wrong person? I would say that it's a person who is not teachable, and teachable for me means somebody who will either not listen or not reconsider his opinion, not being open to change the opinion. So how do you think about this biggest mistake, and what is the wrong person?
Do you mean person like within the team or on the investor side?
It could be anything, employee, co-founder, investor. I think it's all about the people, right?
Yeah, so I think this is the most crucial job, or the most crucial part when founding a new venture, because you can always pivot the idea, but it's really hard to change the founding team. And as Peter said, you will spend a lot of time in good times, bad times, with the same set of the founders, and you have to be nice, you have to be supportive, encouraging, engaging, etc. So, and it's really important to find a right mix of founders, not overlapping each other too much, but be more complementary. So, for example, I'm pursuing let's say, to have one business founder and one technical founder, for example, for a digital company. So, it's always better to have a co-founder, because, as everyone says, it's the most lonely job to be a founder. So it's always good to have a co-founder.
So it's one, right? So out of 2,000 startups, only one.
From which phase? Starting which phase?
I think, well, that's a good question. I didn't dig deep. Thank you. So.
Sorry, I didn't want to catch you. I was just interested.
So, okay. But there is I have a source. Yeah. We can check. So, and that means most of the people, and out of 2,000 startups, 18 get angel funding, and a bit less than half get family and friends funding, which is about 50K. Now, another statistics says that one needs 4 or 5 full-time employees for about 2-3 years, and probably about 1 pivot, to reach product market fit.
So I can't say that I can learn something from it, because yeah, it was a real bad luck. Maybe just to describe it a little bit more. It was a 1-year-old startup, and we have already $2 million investment. It was almost done. Everything was done. We were 14 days before the deadline, and then the COVID came to Europe. So there was the complete lockdown, and all the investors, they stopped investments for, let's say, 5-6 months. So it was for a startup, it was the stop. And
what did you do?
Sorry.
What did you do?
So we tried.
What was the startup?
Yeah. Okay. It was called blabu.com. It was something like a Uberization of language education. So to improve your conversational skills, not to learn grammar, as for example you learn in Duolingo or so, but it was focused on speaking part. But the equity is calculated differently, because I need to know that the end game value after the time that I will sell my share will have a certain amount, so certain value. specific value, and there will be a return of investment from the very beginning. So it's difficult, and when I come up with the idea, so I'm calculated somehow the future, how big the opportunity is and will be, how big stake I will have in the company, and then I can calculate the end game value. And also there is a high risk that there will be nothing. It was about my previous business, Blabu.com. It was I would say it went bankrupt during the COVID era, and due to the lack of financing. Yeah, because I set a stop loss for my investments, so it's always you always have to set a stop loss for. So it means it has to end somewhere, and yeah, it's hard to describe the situation in that time. It was really weird, and everyone was thinking that the world is ending. I would call it the product market fit, and so you shouldn't start a business before you find the right product and the right customer. So, or you see that it's working somehow, and you will, for example, just find the right pricing. Yeah, for example, you do this research, and after that you launch some fake door campaigns, fake e-shop, etc. And you are just testing the right pricing for the product. But you already know the customer and the product. What about the timing? You never know.
Well, you can see it, if you do the text correctly, you can just see it. Because some people say even another typical question could be, are there any needs that the customer is not aware of, and we will educate him? That's a mistake, It will cost you a lot of money, and probably will not achieve it. We are looking only, regardless if it's B2B, B2C, we are looking only, are there people who currently have this problem top of their mind and really want to solve it and want to pay for the solution? If not, they are not there, and I don't care if they are going to be there in 1 year. It's not so important, because in 1 year is too far in advance for the startup. So, and we can test that very, very simply. Even in B2B, selling cold emails, which seems like a stupid idea, because no one answers in B2B cold emails, right, from foreign people. Actually, if the proposition is strong, they will answer. So this is already, we just tested it now with one proposition, and I was very surprised. We achieved like 30% response rate on one B2B campaign that we sold, like testing 20 emails towards HR managers for some AI stuff. It doesn't matter, But it was just a good idea, and they just, yeah, please call, we want to meet, And we were very surprised. So there are clever ways how to know it immediately.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Peter, for hosting us.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, it's great. And,
it was a pleasure.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Andrea, for planning, marketing. Without you, this event would not be possible. So maybe a big applause for Andrea. And I also like to say thanks to our sponsor, Startup Yard. Andrea is involved, of course, in 22minds, but also in Startup Yard.